On the first day of the UN General Assembly, leaders greeted each other like old friends after a long break. But then it was time to get down to diplomacy. U.S. President Barack Obama led off, saying on the foreign front he will spend his remaining years in office on two issues:
Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons and the Arab-Israeli conflict. While these issues are not the cause of all the region's problems, they have been a major source of instability for far too long, and resolving them can help serve as a foundation for a broader peace.
He said American distrust of Iran has deep roots and cannot be quickly overcome, but the diplomatic path must be tested.
But I do believe that if we can resolve the issue of Iran's nuclear program, that can serve as a major step down a long road towards a different relationship, one based on mutual interests and mutual respect.
On Syria's civil war, in which more than 100,000 people have been killed, Mr. Obama said a U.S.-Russian deal to eliminate Syria's chemical weapons should energize efforts toward a political settlement. Later, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani took the podium against a backdrop of protests outside the UN. Speaking through an interpreter, he said Iran is ready to hold talks to build confidence about its nuclear program. Western nations believe it is aimed at developing a nuclear weapon.
Our national interests make it imperative that we remove any and all reasonable concerns about Iran's peaceful nuclear program.
There were expectations that Presidents Rouhani and Obama would meet on the sidelines of the General Assembly, but it didn't happen. U.S. officials said the Iranians were not ready for it. Mr. Rouhani and other leaders, including Jordan's King Abdullah, expressed concern about the war in Syria. Jordan is sheltering nearly 1 million Syrian refugees. He said his country is struggling under the burden.
These are not just numbers. They are people who need food, water, shelter, sanitation, electricity, healthcare, and more.
Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff used much of her speech to chastise the United States for spying on her government's internal communications. She spoke through an interpreter.
Pode o direito à segurança dos cidadãos de país.
The right to security of a country's citizens can never be ensured by violating the fundamental human and civil rights of another country's citizens.
The speeches continue, as do high-level meetings on issues of importance and contention around the world. Margaret Besheer, VOA News, the United Nations.